largest and most problematic sources of waste. Today, over 1 billion tyres are produced annually in over 400 tyre factories. Tyre stockpiles create a great health and safety risk. Tyre fires can occur easily, burning for months, creating pollution in the air and the ground. We know all this. We are the ones driving the cars after all, and we are certainly part of this. But let's not remind ourselves of the problems. Instead, we can think about solutions. These tyres are just one example of how we don't really know what to do with the byproducts of today's society, let alone the fact that recycling doesn't even cross some of our minds. Let's try to look at these tyres not as a waste, but rather as a resource that we humans produce. The same way a bee produces honey, we humans produce these tyres. They are just waiting to be used, rather than waiting to be illegally burned. Therefore, we are really looking at a mine containing a new resource. So it is no longer a tyre dump. The following is a group of people that has found a very good use for these tyres, and this is just one of the many problems they have found a solution for. Earthship Biotecture was founded by Michael Reynolds in the early 1970s. At present, the Earthship Biotecture team travel the world building Earthships for people. Patricio Sorrentino heard about Earthships in 2008. He flew immediately to Taos to meet with Michael.
Michael and I decided that we first wanted a prototype that could show people what Earthships are really about, because that's something that I came across throughout this time, that is very hard for people to realize the real essence of an Earthship without being inside one and without seeing it and living it and actually experiencing the functionality of an Earthship. But then we also had to form a team, because the way it worked out for us is that we were going to stage half of the project and Mike was going to do the other half. We wanted to learn about the project and we wanted to learn the whole process so we could eventually start replicating Earthships around Baja and in Mexico.
He wants to do ecological development of some kind and looked on the web, found our site, came to see us and wanted to do it. We have our community there has a lot of demonstration buildings and people can come and really see what it is, and he liked it. He wants to get into this and do this the same way we do with our help, and he wants his 3 boys to grow up doing it. And so it's a good, the overall take on the whole project has got good motives, you know, all the way through, and that's how we kind of select what to do. If somebody wants a home or a house, they have to realize that this is a little bit more than a home or a house. These buildings do everything for themselves, and the way they do everything for themselves is not with poles and pipelines and centralized systems. It's a decentralized approach. Each building is a living, breathing cell that is getting everything that its inhabitants need from an encounter with the natural phenomena of the planet, like the sun, like the rain, like the gravity, like the wind.
At the end, Earthships are structures that are built using recycled materials, take advantage of natural phenomena, produce goods, and use technology, creating beneficial contributions to environmental issues like the following. 1. Energy consumption. Fossil fuels supply around 90% of the world's commercial energy. This has to stop soon. Earthships reduce energy needs to a minimum by not needing central heating and air conditioning. By generating their own clean energy, they contribute to minimize global warming. 2. Water consumption. The water you normally get from the grid is pumped from lakes, rivers, and underground water, often traveling long distances for human usage, consuming a lot of energy. With Earthships, you harvest your own water, so it's a safe net, plus you help our planet by reducing global warming and water scarcity. 3. Sewage. The sewage systems around the world are inefficient. Normally we don't separate grey from black water, and in most places there aren't any water treatment plants, so it goes directly to rivers, lakes and the sea. Earthships make very efficient use of the captured water by using it 4 times. First, you use it to wash, then to water your indoor garden, then to flush the toilet, then to water your landscaped garden. Your wastewater will never leave your property, meaning you do not pollute nearby rivers, lakes or the sea. 4. Food consumption. Global agriculture uses 60% of the total fresh water in the world. Food production today has to be technified to meet the large demand, resulting in burning fossil fuels, using chemical nutrients and pesticides, therefore emitting greenhouse gases, polluting soil, water and the product itself. Earthships produce food year-round, reducing expenses in family economy, health risks associated to pesticides and contaminants where food is grown, CO2 emissions by less fuel consumption, for example transportation for food imports, and water consumption for food production. 5. Wastes. Everything we consume is a potential waste, because nothing is useful forever. Some materials no longer used don't degrade, occupying space and contaminating in several ways. Earthships use materials like tires that otherwise would have little or no use at all.
You got lots of trucks coming, right? All right, so let's just dump this one here. Especially on the second one, you don't want to blow out. Never want to blow out.
This is tyre pounding. You start by placing cardboard inside the tyre, then you fill it up with dirt and you pound it until the tyre bulges.
We had to go and look for the tires. We had to go and look for the glass bottles. We had to go and look for the cans and then the cardboard from the fruit stores. Getting rid of so much stuff that was going to be burned or thrown away or end up in the rivers, in the sea, and seeing all those materials transformed and become an Earthship. I think that's one of the parts I really enjoy the most. We were grabbing the tires and everyone was like, oh, so what are you going to do with tires? And we were saying, we're going to build a house out of tires. And they were, nah, really, you're going to build a house out of tires? There's so many tires here, you can build so many houses. And I guess the reply was like, Yeah, that's what we want to do. So there is a lot of materials that people throw away, that we throw away. We think they don't have any value, but Earthships take advantage of that situation and they transform it into something beautiful.
Can walls. Cans are used to build some of the walls. They help fill up the mass and reduce the amount of cement needed. They are easy to lay, easy to learn, and of course, by using them, we are recycling garbage.
Did you say what I think you just said?
I did.
They're not even like correct. I mean, they're level to each other, but the ones underneath are not leveled correctly either.
Glass bricks. To make these, you need 2 bottles of the same kind. Then you cut them with a cutting disc, wash them, and once fully dry, you join them with duct tape to make sure they are well insulated from moisture. The Earthships Mexico team prepared over 7,000 glass bricks before the Taos crew arrived.
And so you just have to come over and choose your size and then... Can you try large? Todo empezó de algo como una semillita, como que plantaron la semilla en mi cabeza de algo y nos determinamos y lo estamos logrando, ya sabes. Y como que me siento súper afortunada de poder ser parte de esto, de que al final del día somos todos uno mismo. Me explico que no es como que nosotros, nuestra labor en la vida no es cuidar a la naturaleza, es simplemente entender que somos parte de ella, o sea, que somos un ser más dentro de la cadena alimenticia. Esto es más que un Earthship, o sea, un Earthship es un principio, es como una manera de vivir, ¿no? Y como que cambia un poquito el concepto de tu vida de que tú tienes que trabajar para vivir y no trabajar en tu vivir, o sea, sí te puedes sostener a ti mismo, puedes crear tu propio alimento, puedes crear tu propia agua, tu propia energía, etcétera. No necesitas el dinero para comprar todas esas cosas, ¿no?
Now, let's try to understand how these buildings do what they do. Earthships heat and cool themselves by harnessing the temperature of the weather, stabilizing the temperature inside the building. 3 of the 4 outer walls of the building are surrounded by packed tires, acting as thermal mass, which is basically mass holding heat, the same way a barrel holds water. Even more soil is added to surround the cisterns and the vent tubes, resulting in huge insulation. During winter, in let's say America, all the glass along the south side of the Earthship lets the sun in, which heats the mass of the very thick walls. The earth behind these walls, acting as an insulator, doesn't allow the captured heat to be released on the other side. When the temperature in the room drops below the temperature in the walls, heat is released from the walls into the space available for people to enjoy all through the night. During summer, with the sun high in the sky, sunlight enters only into the planters. The naturally cool temperature of the underground soil cools the building down. Also, driven ventilation from underground cooling tubes, plus operable windows and skylights, provides additional cooling thanks to natural convection. All this results in not needing money nor fossil fuels to address our current needs for comfort.
At that point in time, it opens up like a bunch of work for interns to pre-cut all the lengths to the rebar grids that go in the footing. Yeah. And while they're doing that, they're cutting bend and steel that comes from the bond beam down. I ended up building Earthships Actually, by chance, I met a girl in Arizona when I was hitchhiking around, and I came to this place in New Mexico to help her build a straw bale home, and did some of that, and then I spent my whole bank account. You know how it happens with girls. She's gone now. But then I actually ran into them by chance just looking for a job and went out to the community and checked it out, volunteered for a day, and got a job. It was crazy. I was working with all these rainbows. There was a midget on the crew, and I had to lift him up and down off of things. It was pretty wild. But so I've just, and then I bought some land. It was kind of a deal I couldn't refuse because it was so cheap at the time, and started building my own home. And so it just went like that, learning skills to use on my own house and having money coming in at the same time and living outside. So it just kind of evolved. Now it's just my life. That's what I do.
Oh, it was kind of an accident more than anything. I bought an Earthship, and I had no idea what I bought, and wanted to know how it was built. So I asked Mike Reynolds if I could volunteer. He said, sure, you can volunteer. And little did I know that he had many people volunteer to build the houses. So yeah, I worked for him for 6 months volunteering, and then he hired me last year full-time.
Pay attention. If you understand, you're seeing something, you're curious about it, just pay attention to it. You can ask about it. But you need bodies, and that's the importance of having the interviews. And then I think it's important that you guys understand this. Anything else? No? Okay, good.
Thanks, Mike.
Manana.
I've been cooking all night, At least you can tell me if you like it.
And then there's 3 downs instead of 4. Right. Well,
So, yeah, I was working on a farm with this guy, and he was building walls out of tires. And I was asking him his advice on how I'd build my house, because I was going to build it out of timber. And he was like, well, you could build it out of tires. And I've got a few books, so he gave me the books that Mike wrote. So I applied for the internship, and they gave me a shout a couple of months later and said to come here.
Pues yo llegué primero de sorpresa, porque en realidad me dijo mi jefe, ¿sabes qué? Te vas a Baja California y bueno, pues ¿cuándo? Pues pasado mañana. Entonces me agarró de sorpresa porque finalmente no estaba preparado, estábamos haciendo otro proyecto muy grande y que estábamos en su etapa final precisamente. Yo vengo con un equipo de trabajo de la misma empresa, que traigo eléctrico, traigo a un maestro que es de plomería y también un maestro de obra civil, precisamente con ese objetivo que te decía hace rato, de tratar de aprender todo el sistema para poderlo reproducir.
I'll take some. Yeah.
yeah, right on.
So, yeah, these aren't wrapped. Shoot at an angle like that. That doesn't come with
Porcupining. Before you add supporting cement, you need a bunch of nails around the tyre so that when the cement is added, it has something to stick to. Septic tank. A septic tank separates solids from liquids and uses anaerobic digestion by bacteria to treat the black water. By insulating it and adding heat, the process is accelerated.
Somebody needs to go and cut, Mateo, you're good on the saw. We need to cut some 2x4s that are 8 inches long. A bunch of them.
La información ahí está. La tecnología ahí está. La gente que quiere ayudar ahí está. ¿Qué falta? Que agarren ustedes y se pongan a hacer vivienda inteligente, vivienda natural. Tienes que agarrar y lanzarte a hacer como puedas, vivienda sustentable.
Pues yo creo que va a ser un cambio porque para ellos no les, o sea, no estoy preocupada porque les cueste trabajo. Yo creo que los niños se adaptan a todo y esto es algo completamente diferente y nuevo y bueno, creo que les vamos a, gracias a Patricio, les vamos a transmitir valores que pues van a ser mejores personas.
Venimos para ver la casa. Para ver la casa. Es que le jalamos el dedo y se echa puras. ¿Verdad? Ahí.
Solar panel. This solar panel is the first one out of 6. Each one can generate 200 watts, so altogether this Earthship will be able to cleanly generate 1,200 watts of power without burning fossil fuels. Water heating panel. This panel captures sunlight in the form of heat, accumulating it. When water passes through a pipe made out of a metal conductor, the heat is transmitted to the water.
You want a hand down? If you got one. See, she's over. Now.
Batteries. The energy generated by the solar panels can be used while it's being produced. To have energy during the night and when weather conditions are not optimal, we need to store that energy in batteries.
What about touching anything in there? Will I get electrocuted?
You'll get bit.
If I touch which one?
The black. Anything black or any of the metal in here, you could get bit.
Power Organizing Module. This module has everything you need to manage and distribute your captured energy efficiently for all house appliances and utilities.
Put a couple screws in it and then we'll bury it.
Will you stop filming?
Hey, tú no te caes.
Lifters, we need lifters. Girls, you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Hold it, everybody hold it.
Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Walk it in.
It's always that side that falls down.
A living, breathing Earthship has now been completed in just 20 days. This home is now producing its own energy, capturing its own water, recycling its own sewage, heating and cooling itself, and ready to start producing its own food. All the interior design work is up to the owners. So, in conclusion, Earthships help our economy and are beneficial for local, regional and global environmental problems. If you get involved and spread the word, you can really make a change.
Get educated, start looking around, start seeing where change can be made very easily and very simply in your own life. You don't have to change anybody else's life if you just start changing your own. Lead by example.
Basically, it's time to make some changes, people, you know. I mean, this isn't the only solution. You know, building Earthships isn't the end-all, the do-all, or the be-all, but it's a good start, you know.
Learn how to hold your own. Learn how to live off the land.
If you don't like something, change it. Change yourself. Yeah, don't wait for others to change things around you. Just do it yourself.
Find something you really like to do, you truly like to do, and stick to it, you know. Don't feed into and buy into the I gotta do this because the money's good type of thing. Money isn't the, you know, can't take it with you. It's not the only thing
What really matters is that you enjoy what you do and you feel good about what you've done at the end of every day. And you go home feeling good and wake up the next day feeling good. And that's what you should do.
I think any person in this world has the ability to have and do whatever they want, whatever they really want with their heart. If they do whatever they can to get it, you know, and it'll happen, no matter what it is.
Sean independientes. Seamos independientes. Y seamos libres y seamos inteligentes. Y entendamos nuestra capacidad de actuar y nuestra capacidad de hacer cosas grandes.